how small is a grenade? How much damage can it do? You know, this is a never-ending battle between depression versus acceptance, confidence versus confusion, you know, optimism versus reality. You know, I'm up here, and there are casualties. Dealing with it, that's extremely difficult. Day in, day out, it's basically Groundhog Day. You know, things don't always get better. You know the world we live in today. Everything's image. You know, so when you do have a defect physically, you are targeted. You know. You don't want to seem like you're playing the victim. You know, beautiful people get stared at, and someone with a defect on their physicality gets, you know, they get stared at as well. So it's like I can kind of see where people come from when they're socially accepted as beautiful, and when you're not accepted as beautiful. The two comparisons, the two ends will never meet, but the feelings are the same. You know. I once met a woman who told me her daughter has vitiligo, and she basically told me that someone walked up to her and said, "How can you allow your daughter to come out like that?" Something like that. Words like that, they cut deep. I've had this for like 13 years now. It's been a strenuous journey. Tested my faith in so many areas. You know, until this day, you always feel tested. You know, but it's important to know who you are, and know your skills, and know your attributes, and who you are as a person. It's imperative. You know, life goes on. You know, people don't get it. You know, they think it's a small thing. They think that vitiligo is just something that you have and you should get over it. You know, block people out. If it was that easy, I would have done it 13 years ago when I first acquired it. Just the beginning of my teen years, so there was no going out. I used to just stay in and make up excuses and all of that. Now, I'm different. I will walk out there, show everything if I have to. You know, that's me. But it's only been the last maybe 2 years I've learned to accept myself, and that was the start of the journey. You know, that was the start. It's about accepting who you are. Forget the rest of them. You become numb. You become numb. I don't know if it's a good thing, but it's definitely better than feeling the raw pain that you normally feel. When I was young, there were a few tears. As you become older, that stops. You don't have any more left, and you just realize how much of a kind of messed up society we live in. You know, this society and this day and age we live in, image may be everything. You don't really want to approach anybody. You know, you don't want to approach women on that basis, because you just think, you know, when you're speaking to them, all they're going to be thinking is, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? So you're talking, but they're not listening. You know, they're not listening at all. The whole time they're just thinking, well, what is that? What is this guy doing? What is that on his hands? What is that? So you don't really go that route. So you do kind of, you don't crave attention. You just crave for someone to accept you, but you already know that ship has kind of sailed. You know. Which is unfortunate, because people like us, as much as people want to say everybody judges, sometimes when you're put in a position to keep your mouth closed, you do it, you know, and you realize your words. You don't use words such as that person's an idiot. You use something like that person's acting like an idiot, because you realize there's something that they don't understand, you know, and it's that lack of understanding that you kind of try to empathize with and connect to get through your day. You know, And I think that is the basic premise. That is what it is. It's extremely difficult, you know. Doesn't get easier. I read somewhere that 95% of people don't get over it mentally, and I think that the biggest problem is that people don't realize that as much as this is a physical thing, it affects you mentally. Men care about their image as well. I think when you have, like I said, any sort of defect, you do become a bit more conscious of how you look, and you do try to fit in with society a bit more. Even though you know it won't really happen, you still do it. So, you know, you may pick yourself up and go to the gym every so often, or try some weights at home, whatever makes you feel comfortable in your own body, but still kind of comforts you, and you kind of give yourself the illusion that you are part of society, even though you're happy where you are. It just kind of gives you common ground with somebody or with people. The public eye. A life of no privacy. You don't know anything. The stronger you get, the heavier the ignorance of others become. It's a life you can never truly be happy with or become accustomed to. You know, ironically, this skin condition brings out people's ugly sides as well as mine. Your mind is constantly at work. Your senses are heightened and always tuned into what people may be thinking. You know, it's like speaking with a mask on to people. You know, they never really truly see who you are. Sometimes you just want your hands to yourself, you know. Yeah, I guess people never really sit next to you on the train. You are, in essence, you're quarantined from society. This day and age, we're more image conscious than ever. It plays an antagonizing role against your confidence. Potential partners. It means human contact, such as a handshake, becomes a yearning desire. You have to consider the past years of a person and their endeavors before trying to shift the paradigm of someone who has vitiligo. It just doesn't make sense without that kind of thought process. The staring is overbearing. It becomes too much at times. Very difficult journeys, train journeys, bus journeys. Some people even take pictures on their phone, forgetting the flash is on. You know, those things generate so much anger in you. You know. The laughs, they just kill your confidence. If your head's always down, You know, you kind of block it out, but you don't really want to back down. The damage people can do, and they just don't realize it. People think you're paranoid. You can tell your friends, but they still think you're paranoid. Just because you can calculate people's movements, it makes you smart. It makes you very, very smart. You realize so much more than the, dare I say it, average person. Yeah, you just realize how uncaring this world can be. Unfortunately, there are no happy endings in this one. This goes on forever. I live with it, and it lives with me.